Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 11. This week, we're going to study chapter 14. Um, we are almost done with the materials that we're supposed to cover for this week, for this semester. So just hang in there. This chapter 14, is about money and banking. So it basically talks about the banking system in United States. It talks about the structure of the Federal Reserve, the policy tools of the Federal Reserves, and also we talk about money market in this chapter towards the end of this chapter. So one more time, we're going to talk about demand and supply. So if you do not recall demand and supply that we discussed in chapter 3 for perfect competition market, I definitely encourage you guys to go back, review everything. The way that we are going to define money demand and the supply for money is very similar to chapter 3, but however, you will see that, for instance, that the shape of the supply in this market will be different from what we had in chapter 3. But in terms of the concept, it's very, very similar to chapter 3. You will see that, for instance, when we talk about demand, we're talking about the relationship between price, but this time the price is called interest rate. And the quantity here in this market is quantity of money demanded, what we call the quantity that is related to the demand side of the market in chapter 3, quantity demanded. So the concept is very, very similar, but of course the names and the labels are going to be different. But to understand basically how the Federal Reserve's policy tools work, we need to understand money market because they are related. And we're going to come back to this concept of money market when we talk about monetary policies in chapter 16, which is kind of related to what we're all dealing with these days. We're all dealing with high inflation rates. So in chapter 16, we will see how the Federal Reserve as a central bank in the United States can deal with inflation. So you need to understand money market and what we're basically going to discuss in this chapter to understand chapter 16, okay? As far as the assignment goes, remember that the homework from chapter, I combined the homework from chapter 12 and chapter 14. So homework number 7 will be the one that is basically from chapter 12 and chapter 14. And I sent you a correction last week about me making a mistake about the deadline for this homework. I totally forgot that I combined 12 and 14. So there is an extended deadline for homework 7, and it will be April 4th. So chapter 7 is again from homework 7 is from chapters 12 and 14. We covered 12 last week, which was about aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And then chapter 14 is about money and banking. For this week, we are going to have another discussion number 4, which is also due on April 4th. So take a look at it on D12. We have basically discussion 4 and discussion 5. Discussion 5 will be the last one that we have for our spring semester. So almost there with also discussions. I also wanted to remind you about the deadline we have for a paper. So for our term paper, we're less than a month away from our term paper. So the term paper is due April 22nd. So I already gave you feedback about the topics that you picked. Now it's time for you to work on your papers. Let me know if you have, of course, any question. Let me know if you want to change your topic. Make sure to take the advantage of the writing center. If you are done with your paper, you can send it over, or you can go over there. It's for our campus sci fair. It's on the 2nd floor of the library, so you can go there so somebody can read your paper, edit it for you if it's needed. If you need my feedback, as I told you before, please do not wait till last minute and then ask me for my feedback. I'll get super busy when it's close to the deadline because I'll get a lot of papers from you guys, a lot of drafts. You want my feedback. So if you definitely want me to look at your paper, and I'm not going into detail, but I will just look at the overall and tell you if you're on the right track or not. But if you need my feedback, make sure you send me your drafts at least 1 week before the deadline. Okay, or otherwise I'm not gonna take a look at it. What else? For the paper, make sure you follow the instruction on the syllabus. Also, I recorded a video at the beginning of the semester. Make sure you also watch that. If you go to announcement, you should be able to find it. Just scroll down. There's also a little folder on D12. So if you go to the content tab and then click on the term paper folder, I also put 2 handouts for you where you can also get more information about the paper. Remember, the paper is MLA format. So just basically, I also put a sample for you there. So just follow the format. There, you don't want to really lose any point, and do not send me any paper at the end on April 22nd. There is a Dropbox where you can go, just like the topic, term paper topic, where you can go and upload your paper. I will not accept anything via email. If you pass the deadline, you will get 0. Remember, 10 points out of 100 went to your topics, and then you still have 90 points for your paper. So try to ace it. Okay, it's not really that difficult. Just do some research. I can tell if you're just writing it on your own, or you had some, you read some stuff and you did some research. Okay, so do your research. As I said, if you need my help, let me know. If you need someone to edit your paper, Writing Center is the best place for you to go. That's why I encourage you guys throughout the semester to go to the writing workshops. Of course, I gave you incentives in terms of term papers. Sorry, in terms of extra credit. I didn't finish my coffee yet. So yeah, so it's not really that difficult to get 100 for the paper. Of course, if you didn't miss the deadline for the topics, okay? So that's pretty much it. We are going to study chapter 14. We have chapter 13 and chapter 16 to cover in the upcoming weeks, and then we are done. So as I said, just hang in there. We're almost done. Try not to miss any homework, any discussion. Work pretty hard on your papers, and I promise you, you'll be fine. Okay, let me know if you have any question. Till next time.